Today, China warned Australia not to try and meddle with its decision to prosecute an Australian writer and former diplomat for espionage. Yang Hengjun went missing on January 18th, and it turned out he'd been secretly detained, even though at first, China's foreign ministry denied knowing where he was. In President Xi Jinping's China, this is part of a trend. The same thing happened to the scientist who claimed he edited the genes of babies, to a Supreme Court justice, a famous photographer, and a 29-year-old who splashed ink on a poster of the president. Then there were the Canadians who disappeared after their government arrested the CFO of Huawei. And last year, the former chief of Interpol and China's highest-paid actress both somehow vanished.
One trend we're seeing is the profile of individuals is increasing. It shows the brazenness in which China is increasingly turning to this type of arbitrary and secret detention to punish opponents and to signal to other would-be opponents that it will tolerate less and less confrontation.
Before Xi became president in 2013, the authorities did have ways to legally make people disappear, but their powers have grown. That same year, a new law went into effect that let police secretly detain people they deem a threat to national security. And last March, an amendment to the Constitution expanded that power to cover a much broader range of suspected crimes. The amendment created the National Supervision Commission, an office under Xi that ostensibly investigates corruption by members of his party. But the police who carry out its orders can hold people for up to 6 months without notifying family or a lawyer if they only have a connection to the accused, or once worked for a party member or state agency, which in China means basically anyone.
It might start in any number of ways. Sometimes a group of officers, some in uniform and plain clothes, will come banging on your door in the middle of the night, or in other times you might be picked up off the street, perhaps after dropping a child off at school. And we've seen that, certainly in the last few years, continually this sort of high-profile secret detention leading to often forced confessions is taking place.
That might be why the Supreme Court justice admitted to the crime of stealing documents, and why the Interpol chief came out of hiding to resign from his job. While the actress Fan Bingbing confessed to cheating on her taxes while apologizing to the, quote, party and the country. Others, including the protester who threw ink and the photographer, haven't been seen. Canada's still negotiating the release of its citizens, who it says are being held arbitrarily. But China's foreign ministry responded, saying, quote, everything in China is done in accordance with the law.
What China is trying to do, at the same time that it's masking its lawlessness behind the veneer of the rule of law, it's also trying very hard to supplant and to change the rules of the international community and to change what international law even says.